Good day everybody, I hope you're enjoying yourself on this lovely little day. Right, I'm taking a look at the Player's Handbook for the 3rd edition of the Dungeons and Dragons game, called Dungeons and Dragons now rather than the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, which appeared in the 2nd edition and the 1st edition. So how does this compare and what's the difference between the older editions? Well, for a start, the mechanics are now based on the Dice 20 system. Whereas before, the old ones had a descending armour class system, always down to -10, and you had to score and roll the dice 20 to be able to hit a given figure below the dice roll. Here is up. In other words, the armour class of the creature goes upwards, and you have to roll over that armour class or difficulty class with the dice 20 plus any pickable bonuses. It's a different way of doing it, and in some cases, yes, it's better to do it in that way. The only drawback is that it makes a lot of the rules, especially in this particular edition, a little bit overcomplicated and very tightly integrated as well. If we change one rule in here, we've got to make sure there's no knock-on effect on some of the other rules on the game mechanics elsewhere. The good news is that in this edition, the orcs are back. And there's half orcs, and there's halflings, and so on. There we are, there's the half orc and half elf. I am half orc. So they're back. They've been removed entirely from the 2nd edition of the game, which was a bit stupid because they had to accommodate the politically correct crowd who screamed that they'd having a bad influence on the young, impressible minds. But anyway, they brought them back, and they didn't bring the assassin back, but that was also dealt with in another sort of book elsewhere. We got the Druid and so on. Now, in this particular case, with the dice 20, you don't have excessive strength scores, where in the old one, we rolled over 18, you rolled a percentage, I didn't get 18, 62. That gave you pluses to your attack bonuses, strength and damage and so on. Here, it's just straightforward. So just to get the bonus of strength, and with the bonuses that go up on each character class, you get fortitude saves, will saves, and so on and so forth. And these are based on the different kind of spell mechanics you have, or even other things and so on and so forth. It's not entirely explicitly explained to us thing. It is explained, but not the dotty eyes and cross the T's type of fashion, where you really are knowing what you're talking about. Sometimes you got to wing a little bit. Is it a fortitude save? Is it a will save? And then you make a judgment call on that. In some cases, in most cases, you'll be fine just giving it a will save for some of the stuff that go there on fortitude save. But there are some grey areas which you've got to look at and make sure of deciding whether you got the right one. Anyhow, we've got a lot of different classes in here as well. The old traditions are in there, the barbarian, the wizard, the monk is back as well, which is the good news. And you've got a whole host of other paladins there as well. You've got a whole host of other classes which are dealt with in the Dungeon Master's Guide, and you see that in a different video. Given the skills, but there's a different kind of thing now where you have when the proficiencies in the one now has been taken into skills and feats. Skills are that one, you've got diplomacy, read lips, swim, tumble, that sort of nonsense. And then you have the feats, which has to be around here somewhere. Equipment, and spell, combat. Yeah, there's another thing in there which is allowed to, as an addition to your character, we give you pluses and minuses and your bonuses and so on and so forth. It's good, but the drawback with it is, let's try and find the damn thing, bloody thing. It's not here at the moment. There we have feats. There we are. Finally found them. I apologize for that. Right, the drawback with the feats is that if you have one particular feat, it's going to be an addition to the previous feat. In other words, if you hit armor proficiency light, and then you go to heavier armor, you have to have that, and then that. Then armor proficiency with heavy and so on and so forth. No, it doesn't say that, but that's a kind of example it'll give you to the different kind of feats that you have. In other words, it only works with the previous feat, or alongside the previous feat. Have the previous feat, then you can take the next one. Level advancement is a lot quicker. You know, it takes a few thousand experience points now to get to different levels. So the intent is to get to the higher levels where you play the game. The drawback is, with combat, and you realise this, is the fact that when in the old game, you did about 2, possibly 3 dice rolls, or even maybe 4 in some cases. Here, it's a lot more involved, a lot more complicated, because you can take away the defensive bonuses, get your armor class, and there's other bonuses which the characters have done. There may be parry and attack and so on. So each combat round takes about 3 or 4 times longer than the previous editions again, particularly in a 3.5. You can spend all evening combating one encounter. That's a big drawback with that. But there are some lovely illustrations in here, full colour artwork, and I love the fact that it gives you the actual impression of the scale of the creature. So there's a dragon, and there's a guy, man, compared to the dragon, tiny little bugger. The dragon bite him and swallow him in one spot. And you got a combat example of where you cast spells, how you cast spells, where you cast around the corner, where you are, there's a point of origin, who gets caught up in the blast of a fireball spell, and so on and so forth. And then you have the spell listings of the domains, and again the school of specialities is featured in this one as it was in the second edition. So you got a bit more pluses and minuses against the kind of school that you want to take on. It's a comprehensive book and very good. Like I said, though, the only drawback is it's the sheer length of time it takes to do any given thing in the game where you got a rule here and there. And sometimes with the rules as well, you can hunt around for an extra plus. It may make all the difference because you might have missed it when you were doing all the rolls and sorting out the combat. So some people say, I'm sure I got an extra plus here somewhere. Added in, boom, sorted. Right, in the back, they got a character generator, CD-ROM. They also got an adventure on the PDF in there, which is so the adventure is, so I wouldn't really, you're not going to miss much. Useful for the character generation, you stick it in the computer, do the appropriate dice roll, click on certain buttons, and lo and behold, then there's a complete character sheet which you can print out and then use in the game, as opposed to actually rolling the character up. It makes it a lot quicker, and there's a couple of bits, there we are, there's the character sheet we've got here. And it shows you where the categories are. Now that's a sample of it. And there's elsewhere in the book there's an actual character sheet itself. And it's got a couple of bits and pieces. Oh, there's the character sheet. Yeah. And a couple of bits and pieces in here about what you can do with certain parts of the game. Like a question, not a 20 always a hit and not a 1 always a miss. It's the same thing with the previous editions. Power play. If you do whip, animate rope, improve trip, combine them, and you can actually give yourself a good beneficial result, and so on and so forth. So yeah, it's alright, it's good. I can see it's not being played when the condition is in, because I never really felt that we would have a good game setting out of it, where we had much more fun than the previous editions, and we did in the third edition. But some would say it's much better than the previous editions by a mile. And they could very well be right, just taking the time and effort for us to go and actually play the thing. But we've never had any sort of incentive or desire to say, yeah, tonight we'll play 3rd edition. And we play the 5th edition, yes, and that's the basic edition of 5th, which to me is a lot better, but that's a personal opinion. There are a lot of people who swear by us, and yeah, fair enough, you know, we make them happy, then who will be to argue? Well, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a very, very good day. Enjoy yourselves.